some problems, and all you gotta do is ask dear Flabby, where the fuck are you?
Where the fuck are you, dear Flabby?
we are right here. We're not
Here we
late
are.
at all.
It doesn't matter if we're late. It's a fucking podcast. They can listen to it whenever they want.
Right. It's our show. We can be late.
No,
here
we're
to
not late.
help.
It's a fucking audio
Oh, yeah.
podcast.
Oh, yeah.
They can listen to it whenever we want. Fuck.
Right. God damn it.
But we could be late if we wanted to. All right.
Right.
Okay. What is today? Today is Tuesday.
Yes.
Tuesday is the day we help people. It's a wonderful fucking day.
Yes,
The world has turned over a new leaf. Everything is coming up roses.
Right.
I have a positive outlook on life.
Yep. Nice. Last I heard, the election is over, so everything's good. That's all I
I don't
want.
care. I don't care who wins.
No, I don't either. It's done. It's over.
I don't care.
Over.
No. I'm elated in life.
Oh.
Life is good. I'm
Oh,
happy.
Good.
Just let me be happy. You don't have to bring up politics and trans and blacks.
No, Sorry.
I want to see if you can go one whole episode of Dear Flabby without bringing up politics, they, thems, the man at the mahogany table that's running the government, black people, Mexicans, Jews, trans, if I didn't already say it, and if I did,
Twice.
I mean it twice as much, gays, Filipinos.
Filipinos.
Entering new room.
That's gonna be the hard one.
Easy.
I don't know why.
Styles constructing.
All right,
Styles
are you ready?
barred from
Can I just answer your question?
Constructing hostile
Of course
combatant.
not. What fun is that?
Okay. It's a whole new world out there.
Right.
All right.
Agreed.
And I want to treat this show as if it's part of that whole new world instead of lagging behind. I think that we can do. I hate to use terms that have been overused, but I think it's time that we're so far behind on the woke culture
Console.
that term is already overused, and we haven't adapted to it yet. So we need to adapt to it,
So,
like we did with Baby Jessica.
So are you saying we need to start punching up instead of punching down? Is that what
No,
you're trying to say?
I don't.
No punches?
I think there should be. I think Mean Doug should be dead. That's what I think. I think it
fuck
should be
all
Nice
of
Doug.
that. I'm gonna
No.
resuscitate him. And if you don't think I can,
Well, you can't stop me. You can't even hope to contain me. I am Nice Doug now,
good,
And-
good.
and I will hold no. Like I won't hold anything against any jigaboos from the past that ever did anything to me. We're all on an even playing field. It's equity now.
I'm already angry. I'm angry now. Why do you get jigaboos and I can't even say blacks? you said I don't even get to mention blacks, but you bring up jigaboos.
We're going easy.
Right, but
way.
that's because I'm
going
saying
easy
we're
the
all
whole
equal.
way.
We're all. It's equity.
Sorry,
Like
I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
we all have different sized buckets looking over the same line of the fence.
Hostile combatant.
Got it. I've seen that picture.
I want black people to have bigger buckets. That's what I'm here for.
I swear to God, you're gonna say lips.
Can we help people now?
yes.
Or you
we
just
can.
want to sit here and be a racist asshole, mean
no,
Anthony?
No, no, I want to help people.
Okay.
Hey, Stank Abbott and Anthony, is it a hate crime speech to call fat people piggers? Thanks. Boop scoop.
It is not a hate crime. And not only is
pretty
it
funny,
not a
though.
hate crime, it is not acceptable.
Why?
Because the only people that can call fat people piggers are other fat people. Yeah, you can call them piggas as long as
No,
if you're skinny.
You don't get the hard R.
You don't get the hard R.
So
That's something that you have to earn.
what are the chances that we can bring that into the world, into the lexicon, like piggers? But it's so close. It makes me uncomfortable just saying it. It's so close.
It's close enough that I don't believe that you would have the balls to call a fat black lady a pigger.
No, God, no. You fucking kidding me? No.
What about Peekaboo?
Stupid.
That's pretty funny.
Constructing hostile combatant.
Yeah, I'd like to bring that. I'd like to bring that into the world. That's a good one. Well, he brought it into the world, but I'd like to make it happen.
Can't we just take credit for it?
I think we can. We invented.
I think
we
we
just
just
invented
did.
a new word.
Dear Flabby, why are so many white women attracted to skinny douchebags in gray Nike sweatpants and have the gay ass broccoli hair? Thanks. Poop on the scoop. That's easy.
That's actually well, not easy, but it's a good question. I've always wondered.
That's
thing
easy to
myself.
answer.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because whatever it was that he just described for that person is
Yeah.
like it's like the James Dean of this generation, like the bad boy, except he looks like a douchebag.
And a girl, like men that look like women get more women. It seems like.
I didn't hear anything about looking like a woman.
But I know the guy. I know the type that he's talking about. The skinny, frail looking, gray sweatpants, broccoli looking hair, just feminine looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't associate broccoli or gray or sweatpants or anything with femininity. I think we each know a broccoli guy, and
Yeah.
one of them is just like, to me, that same guy would go out wearing an Affliction shirt. And to you, that same guy would go out and butt fuck other guys.
Right? They're one and the same guy. Butt fucking guys in Affliction shirts.
But my opinion is that girls are attracted to the bad guys, the bad boys.
And you think that those are the bad boys now of this generation, and the actual like James Dean of this generation is like more accepted. James Dean
like-
type, you know what I mean?
Like, okay, so I've never seen an episode of Jersey Shore, but I've seen commercials and shit.
Okay.
And that's the type of person that they are describing. That's what I envision when they describe it. Just a fucking Jersey douchebag.
Yeah.
And everybody knows the meaner you are to a woman, the wetter she gets.
Is that true?
I think so. Yes.
Weird. Why do you think that is? That's
Go in there and call your wife a cunt, and then stick your finger in her pussy and see if it's wet.
see, that's got to be like a psychological issue on their end, right?
Oh, 100%.
But like, shouldn't they get counseling or something? Shouldn't they talk that shit through?
You don't want them fixed. Then you have to, if you start talking nice to them, like, please give me another beer. Like then that leads to, you don't want to go down that fucking road.
Yeah. So if you get a woman that goes into counseling with another woman, do you think they just like sit and talk about how great it is to be called fat pigs? I love it when they call us fat pig and they just basically are verbally masturbating each other.
I would imagine, realistically, so if you get a woman and you're in the process of training her, right?
Sure.
And you're calling her whatever it is that you decide to call her, slut or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever lovey-dovey terms you've come up with. And she decides she's going to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Like, you have about a 24-hour window to figure out what's going to happen.
Okay.
If she goes to therapy and then she comes back and says, "I was talking to my therapist, Becky,"
Yeah.
you're like, "Oh fuck, we're done. She's going to get fixed. I'm out. I got to go."
Right.
But if she comes back and says, "I was talking to my therapist, Charles,"
yeah,
you're like,
good.
"Fucking guy code, man. We're good."
Yeah. Did he call you a cunt too?
Serious trauma detected.
I think it's time to replace Tom the Tree Man for intros. He's been overdoing it lately and keeps trying to be funny when he's not. Just listening to him speak makes me cringe and irritated. Thanks, Poop Scoop.
Well, we appreciate the time that you've spent listening to us, and we're sorry to see you go.
Right? I don't mean that. I mean no disrespect when I say this, but you're probably going to go before Tom does. I like Tom. I like what Tom does. I mean, I don't want you to leave, but I mean, it is what it is.
So I was hesitant whether to pull that question or not.
Yeah.
And then because I got to thinking, like, as soon as we read it, Tom's going to start writing this 14 paragraph. You know, I can quit if you want. If you want me to,
No.
I found my backup and I
Stop.
kind of just wanted him to go into that tailspin for a little bit.
Ah, okay.
So essentially, it's like calling him a bitch and then checking his pussy to see if it's wet.
Is it? It's a little bit wet under his nuts. Tom, don't stop. Just don't listen to this shit. Just keep going.
Dear Unemployed Rug and Slippery Slope, one of your questions reminded me of something. Around a year ago, my parents accidentally saw me wearing fox ears and tail. I still live with them. It's normal here at 20. After that, there was a week of disappointed looks and not much talking. Assuming they are an adult, what kinks would be disappointing if your offspring got them? Sincerely, a straight guy who everyone thinks is gay. You're not straight, first off.
Right. That was exactly what I was thinking. They caught me wearing fox ears. I'm straight. One of those things isn't true.
Medical assistance needed.
So what?
Oh, they are all my
Yeah, if
fucking
my son, the
ass.
iron worker, if I walked in on him and he was wearing
Fuck is
fox
this
ears and a
now?
tail,
Damn it. Oh, that's
would
I
right.
would be
embarrassing.
disappointed.
Right.
You know why I would be disappointed? It's not because of the fox ears and the tail. It's because I had to walk in on him to know it. Like,
Really?
I fully expect everybody around me to share their kinks with me. Like, not just everybody, even my coworkers. There should be no lies in relationships.
I disagree with that 100%.
Well,
I mean, no,
fucking
like
joke, you dumbass.
No, I'm just telling. I feel exactly the opposite. If I walked in, like, I think that you should hide that shit as deep as you possibly can, even from yourself. No mirrors in your room. You can put them on, just don't look at yourself.
That's
You
the
should
worst
be
part about
ashamed
this game is
if you're putting
niggas just
cat
run.
ears on. And if you're not ashamed, that's where I start to worry. When people lose the shame around their kinks, that's what is
No, you're
really
wrong.
troubling. to
You're
me.
right. You are so fucking wrong.
No,
Nobody
you
should be ashamed of their kinks.
Wrong. You should.
No, you're wrong.
The world was a better place when people were ashamed of their kinks. It really was. See, you don't even have an argument for that.
No. Okay. How can I say this? I'm trying to say this to where you don't try to trap me. You shouldn't be ashamed of what you're into, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you should publicize it.
Okay, I guess I can compromise on that. Like, it's the publicizing it part that I don't like, but I also feel like there should be a fair amount of shame in something shameful. If you're wearing cat ears and putting on women's underwear, you should be ashamed. That's
Why?
a shameful thing. Because it's a shameful thing.
Why? Do you know what shameful means?
Yeah, you're ashamed of it. You should be. I guess
So
I
no,
don't know the
just say you don't.
dictionary. No, I don't know the dictionary definition, but you should be ashamed.
Okay. What is shame? Because maybe I'm wrong.
If it says cat ears,
Oh yeah, you should be ashamed. It's
perfect.
shame is an emotion that can be described as a feeling of embarrassment or humiliation that arises from the belief that one has done something wrong or improper.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that means like everything, like pooping.
Yeah,
Just
yes,
poop.
you should feel a little bit ashamed when you poop.
Yes.
Yeah.
When
I usually
okay.
don't until I wipe. Then it's like,
No,
oh,
I'm
God.
being serious. I can't shit in a public restroom because I do not want somebody to fucking hear what comes out of me. I'm embarrassed. That's shame.
Right.
It's a lot of noise, man.
That's not even a sexual kink. but
I
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I used to be a lot more like yeah, just do whatever you want. I don't care, all that kind of shit. But this is like a no shtick. I think the world was better when people were ashamed to wear cat ears. Everything is better. We shouldn't like normalize people not being ashamed of things that are shameful.
Okay, so there's like 40 things to unpackage with this conversation. Okay, first thing, I don't think anybody should be ashamed of their kinks. I just don't think that it's for public consumption.
Okay.
But so if that, and it's not because you should be embarrassed of what you're into. Like, I know you and your depravity. I know that there has to be something sexual that you are into that you don't want any of us to know. There has to be.
Okay. I mean, I like missionary penis and vagina lights off.
No.
Is that embarrassing?
That's your fucking go-to thing.
That is my go-to thing because it's none of your business. You know why? Because it's
right.
none of your business.
Okay, are you ashamed?
Yes, of course. Duh.
Okay.
I'm not saying other people should and I shouldn't. Everybody should.
See, I'm not ashamed of what I'm into. It's just none of your business.
Right, and I think that we lost some, like, which is fine. I think that your stance on it is completely fine. But somewhere along the way, we went from ashamed to not ashamed, and then the other spectrum is like, not only am I not ashamed, I'm proud of it, and I have to show everybody. It's very important that everybody sees it.
Right, and that's where we agree. Like the guy pissing in the other guy's mouth in the waiting pool in public.
Right. Right. If you want to piss in people's mouths, but if you want to piss in somebody's mouth or let somebody piss in your mouth in your in your house, okay.
Which room?
Not anywhere but the bathroom. It doesn't really even matter. Anywhere there's carpet on the floor.
Go on. Are the lights on or off?
On, duh. That's half the thrill.
I gotta go.
It's not like people having kinks is new, right? They always have. It's just that they had a healthy respect for regular society and they were ashamed.
Yeah.
And
no.
Once you remove that shame, it makes it so much easier to it's only one step away from being not ashamed to being proud, right? Like,
okay. What is your daughter's birthday?
I don't remember.
You do remember. You just don't want to tell me because it's none of my business.
Right. Well, I mean,
are you ashamed of her birthday?
No. I didn't think about that.
You had to think about it?
Nope.
Okay, so I feel the same way about my kinks as I do about your daughter's birthday.
Weird. That's weird.
Anyway, so let's talk about pissing again.
I think, what is considered worse, becoming trans or fucking your cousin? Thanks. Scoop, scoop. Fucking worse would be becoming trans. Duh.
Okay.
That's always worse.
I really thought that's always the worst option.
Yes, always.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think of something worse than you coming home and finding out that your daughter's elbow is now sewed to her pelvis.
What happened to your arm? I got a penis.
Console available.
Okay.
Nothing? Yeah,
nothing.
that was that.
Activated.
Dear Flabby, I walked in my little brother's room one morning while I forgot I'm supposed to be nice, Doug. I completely lost. Anyway.
No,
Dear Flabby, I walked in my little brother's room one morning while he was at school and decided to go on his PlayStation to play some video games. And I see what he's been up to. I go on YouTube to look up some music to listen to, and I notice some strange things on his YouTube search history. He searched up Roblox porn, GTA 5 sex, Spider-Man bubble butt, and Miss Puff big boobies. Miss Puff big bobbies. Should I call him out or should I ignore it? Thanks. Poop scoop.
Call him out, obviously.
Neither.
Don't tell your parents, but call him out. Be like, dude, bro, what are you doing?
No.
No, you help him out. No, it's a shitty thing to do to just let it go. He's on
You
the
haven't
wrong
even
path.
given me a chance to respond, and you're arguing with me.
Yes, I'm arguing with what I think you're gonna say. Okay.
Did
go.
he say how old his brother was?
He just said younger brother, little brother.
Okay,
or
so
whatever.
let's assume this guy's 19 and his younger brother's 18. He
Yep.
needs to steer him the right way.
Yes.
Like, one, you're leaving a fucking trail, and eventually you're going to quit looking at Spider-Man boobies or whatever the fuck it was that he said, and you're going to graduate to big boy porn,
Right.
and you've got to learn to clear your history.
Right.
There's incognito windows, you stupid little fuck.
don't you think you should be like steering him away from the Spider-Man boobies? Like, even
No,
if he
what-
steers him into like regular boobies, whatever, it's fine. But like, steer him away from Spider-Man boobies. That's weird. Like, why are you looking at cartoons of boobies? That's weird. GTA 5 sex? What?
You've never masturbated to the cutscene when you're fucking a hooker in GTA 5? You're fucking weird.
That is weird, isn't it? Huh.
Oh, let's see. It can't really answer this unless we know how old the younger brother is.
Right. My only answer would be, and I don't, like you said, it might be different if he's younger or older, but you need to help steer him in the right direction away from this, SpongeBob porn or whatever he's watching. Like, don't tell your parents. Don't try to embarrass him. Just help him out, man. He's your brother.
Construction initiated.
No, you can embarrass him, but just
Well,
doing
yeah,
it in private.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you want to embarrass him a tiny bit, but just to steer him in the right direction.
Shoot your web in his face. You like that, you little faggot?
You like Spider-Man homo? Dearest faggot, I've just listened back to the classic episode Coon Broth. My question is this: when will you be getting a sequel with more racially motivated recipes? Perhaps a Coon Broth 2 Electric Jigaboo? Did we give racially insensitive recipes? I don't remember that.
But we're doing it next week. Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
Yeah, it'll be on the website pretty quick here. We've been working on it for a while. It's crazy that you mentioned it.
It'll be... So we've got our Beastie Boys 3
Yes.
for the end of the trilogy,
Yep.
and then Coon Broth
It's
2.
it's crazy that it took 3 whole episodes, but and then the cookbook that we've been working on with coon recipes. That'll be out soon. So
Console.
Here's Flabby. I've been playing a video game called RuneScape since 2006. I've never stopped playing, and I still play old school RuneScape to this day. It is the only video game I play or have ever played besides online flash games. Does this make me autistic? Thanks. P.S. I use 12 squares of toilet paper every time I be shitting. Poop swipe.
swipe.
Yeah, that's autist.
That's weird. That's what autists do, right? They find their thing and then they're like, "This is it. This is my thing. Never changing it."
Well, which is why I think that you are on the spectrum.
High value target.
Yeah.
Because you go to, like when you sit down to watch TV,
Yeah.
you will traditionally, if left to your own devices, you will pick something that you've already seen.
Oh, 100%.
And that is a sign of autism because it's, you know what's going to happen next, so there's no anxiety around it.
Right. Yeah, I think we've got 5 shows. I've got 5 shows that I watch.
Okay, so there's Bob's Burgers,
Yep.
Family Guy,
Yep.
The Office.
We have, I will watch The Office, but that's not one of the regulars anymore.
Am I out of cartoons or is there more cartoons?
Nope. King of the Hill. We watch Burn Notice and Psych.
Your house sucks. Like,
It's
I
awesome.
know why you go on vacation all the fucking time.
I love it. I've seen every single episode of every single one of those shows fucking 50 times. So I know exactly what's going to happen every time. There's no surprises. It's great. Who
So
wants
why don't you just go
surprises?
take an autism pill?
They make one of those? Like, is it a 12 gauge or?
Let me suplex you or something. Like there's something in your head that's loose.
What? But I kind of like it. It doesn't really matter that way. Like, I don't really spend a whole lot of time like deciding what I'm gonna watch or watching a lot of TV because like I'm not really watching. It's just kind of on in the background. You know what I mean? I've seen it 100 times. So
Right, but it does matter. Like
Why?
let's say that we end up living close to each other and you come over to my house to watch TV.
yeah,
And you say, "So, what do you want to watch?" And I say, "I don't know. I was thinking about trying something new."
it's just like a shark attack.
All right, whatever. Just enjoy your autism.
Thanks. Dear fat asses, I'll keep it short and simple. Wasn't Doug on the Misfits podcast?
I wasn't.
Have you ever heard of the Misfits podcast?
I know it's a really big podcast, but I mean, seems like it'd be simple for somebody to search and look, but whatever. I don't know.
I don't know anything about the Misfits podcast, and I don't ever remember you being on there. There you go. I got nothing.
I was on the Burt Burglar show or whatever the fuck that was called. Burns and Pickles? Buns and...
No, it's
What was it
Burt
called?
The Burt Burglar show.
No, what was it called?
I don't remember. It's something about buns and burgers or burgers and buns. Burt.
Burgle.
What the fuck? Burt Hole? What the hell is it called?
We'll go with Burt Hole. Yeah, I was on the Burt Hole show.
Medium. Hostiles constructing.
Oh, man.
Dear Flabby, I recently just got certified as a security guard to carry pepper spray in California. I had it for 2 months, never used it, only sometimes for intimidation. Today, I finally had to do it on a high-as-balls prostitute that was selling herself on the property, and to try to get in my face and spit on me multiple times when I told her to leave. It got to the point where I could smell her breath. When the cops came, they looked at me like I was an asshole for doing it because she was smaller than me. My question, would you feel bad or know another way to handle it besides physical? Because I'm a big guy and didn't want to mess her up more in the middle of the parking lot or hold down on the ground till the cops come if I knocked her to the ground. I'm 250 pounds and they don't train us for this. P.S. No, Anthony, she's not hot. She was old and fat.
Thank you. I'm so glad I don't have to ask those questions anymore. They just automatically answer them. So he did the right thing, right? Don't you think?
It depends.
On how her
'Cause
breath smelled?
I don't know that I would have started with pepper spray.
Okay.
Like, I think
Difficulty
like a quick
easy.
palm to the nose and then pepper spray.
Strike her to the nose and drive her nose bone into her brain.
And then she, like, if you do a quick palm to the nose and say, "Why'd you hit me?" And then you pepper spray her and she falls down, you're free and clear. You just say, "No, she smacked her face on the fucking pavement." Are you going to believe me or this stupid hooker?
Stupid fat whore. So, okay. Why would the cops expect a or anybody to just, you're bigger than her, you should have just let her slap you around a little bit until we got here?
No. Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate.
All right.
There was no slapping.
Console online.
He
Okay,
got
you
scared.
you
He got
should've let her
scared
yell
because
in your
somebody.
face.
He got scared because somebody bucked up to his authority, being a
Right.
fucking rental cop.
Right. Right. You should have. So the cop's angle is you should have let her yell in your face until we
Yeah.
got here.
Yeah, so anybody can yell at you. That doesn't give you the right to cause physical harm.
Yes, it does.
No, it don't.
Just get out of my space.
I can smell your breath.
Yeah, exactly. If I can smell your breath, I think I'm legally allowed to shoot you in your mouth.
Room selected.
One,
Difficulty rating.
don't try to be tough guy Anthony, because it doesn't fit you.
Yes, it does. I'm so tough.
2, just because somebody's yelling at you doesn't give you the right to be physical. It depends what they're saying.
No, it
Like
doesn't.
if I walk up to you and say, that Mexican over there selling tacos, that doesn't give you the right to fucking hit me.
Should. So if you're yelling in my face and any of your bodily fluid comes out of your mouth and into my face, that's assault.
None of that was said. You're making shit up.
No, I am. But if you're yelling so close to where somebody can smell your breath, the chances that there is bodily fluid coming out of you.
You're jumping lily pads, Frogger.
No, I'm not.
That wasn't brought up.
It wasn't necessarily brought up. No, but what is the
all
implication?
he would have. No, the implication is that she was close enough that he could smell her breath.
Yes.
You'd have no idea how much emphasis she put on her H's or how bad her breath was.
So
if he would have just said, a little bit of spittle landed on me, okay, then punch her in the fucking head. That's assault.
So you're wrong.
Not wrong.
You can't.
I know the law.
Dude, no, you don't. I don't think you do. You can't expect someone to just stand and let someone abuse them because they are.
It's not
smaller.
abuse. Words aren't abuse, pussy.
The words are not abuse.
Words aren't abuse, you pussy, faggot, bitch.
Stop it! I'm getting wet.
You're the one that always says that words have no meaning, only if you would give them meaning.
What are you talking about? Sometimes I think you just make stuff up and say you're the one that always says this.
So you think people can be arrested for the words they say?
I think they can. Yes, there are certain words that you say that you can be arrested for. Yes.
Yeah, if you walk up to a fat black prostitute and yell "fire," yeah.
In a theater.
So you're saying that there's something you can say on this show right now, other than ilking the resident prey or whatever the fuck you say.
Why didn't you say that? Well, just say what you mean to say. Come on.
You think there's something that you can say, or that somebody else could say on their own show, that they should be able to get arrested other than threatening violence?
No, absolutely not. You're
Okay,
asking me 3 different questions all at one time.
So what you're saying then is words have no power.
What? No, that's not what I said at all.
Okay, then.
You shouldn't be arrested. Words have no. You're like swapping out arrest for power, for words, for violence, for.
Then you
assault.
explain it.
You're swapping out all these.
Okay,
terms
then you explain it.
What do you want me to explain?
Where is the line in where somebody should get arrested?
Where somebody should get arrested?
Yes.
Physical threats of violence.
Okay, so if I come up to you and say, fuck, I should kick your ass. Is that an arrestable offense?
I don't think so.
Okay. If I say, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
You cut me off, I'm going to kick your ass.
No, I mean, it's a gray area, I guess, but it's
me saying
No.
I'm going to kick your ass is not a threat.
if you say, you cut me off, I'm going to kick your ass. No, that's not really a threat. You're saying it in like an exasperated, non-threatening way.
So my tone,
Yes.
it's not the words, it's the tone.
No, it's both. And the situation. And nobody said anything about arrest or anything like that. All I said was that regular people
No. It goes hand in hand.
What does?
Arrest and assault.
No, you're mixing up words that I didn't say, and you're trying to.
No, but it's the implication of it. If you're saying if I walk up to you and say whatever, I'm gonna punch you in your stupid fucking face.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
You're saying that you should have every right to punch me. To defend yourself.
I'm saying that I don't have to stand there and take it from you. I don't understand.
So walk away, bitch.
So if I'm at my job and my job is to rent a cop this place, and you're a whore selling your fat vagina around my rent a cop place, I'm supposed to just ask you to leave, and then when you don't, just stay on my job and let you yell in my face? That's just the way it's. No, I just have to stand here while you yell in my face.
Go
and hope
swipe
the
your
cops show
badge
up.
at the next fucking station that you got to walk to. You are doing everything but answering the question I asked you.
Because the question you're asking me has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Oh, it doesn't? I thought it
No.
did. I thought it
No.
correlated directly with what we're talking
It
about.
doesn't. Trust me, it doesn't.
Okay,
My point was that
I have to have a fat black vagina for it to correlate with you.
Yes. And you have to sell it. Or be actively trying to sell your fat vagina.
Okay, why is it fat?
You've been squeezing on it, like putting it between your fingers, plumping it up. You got to make the
Have you ever-
product look more appealing.
Have you ever worn a cock ring?
I tried one on one time and it was immediately like a no. Nope.
Really? Because, okay, so hypothetically, let's say that I ever had a collection. What it does, so what I was wondering if there's such thing as like a pussy ring. Like, can a woman put a cock ring or rubber bands or hair ties around their lips to get the veins to pop out?
It's one of those clips that holds the papers together. Not a paper clip, but the black ones.
Like a binder clip?
Like a binder clip, yeah.
Dear Doug and
Antoine. Oh, is this you? I thought you just read the last one.
I don't care.
Dear Doug and Antoine, my wife and I just had our first child. We both think that one kid is enough, but continue to be told we should have two. Do you think having a sibling is a must? No.
Yes.
I think you should, but I don't think it's a must.
No, it's a must.
Why?
If you have a kid and 4 years goes by
Yeah.
without another kid,
Yeah.
you should lose your first kid. You obviously aren't committed to kids.
They should take them away. Kids going up for adoption.
Yeah, because there'll be another kid out there that doesn't have a brother or sister,
Yeah.
and you pair them up. Like,
Oh.
I was going to say like Build-A-Bear, but it's like the brother. What's the brother thing? Brother.
Big brothers, big sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that with Build-A-Bears. Apparently.
Build a bears. Just take your kid to the mall or something. I don't know, man. So, I think that it's probably advisable to have multiple kids, but I don't think it's a must. I don't think you have to. Like, if you just want one, you just want one. I don't know.
Yeah, but nobody just wants one.
Really?
I don't know.
Difficulty rating. Medium.
Okay. Traditionally, what happens is you have the first one,
Yeah.
and then, you're a good parent. You're
Combatant.
dressing your kids up for Halloween, and you're making their costumes. You're all excited about it, and then you want to start doing stuff. You need somebody to watch your kid, so you have another kid.
You got to plan ahead, though. 'Cause if you have them too close together, it doesn't work that way.
No, you got to wait 16 years. That's when it is. It's 16 years.
My kids are 16 years apart. That sucks.
So, yeah, I think that you should have however many fucking kids that you want and fuck everybody else. They're not the one raising your fucking
Right.
family. You dipshit.
Right.
I don't think you should have any kids if you have to ask us how many
You have
fucking
to
kids you should have.
Hold on. I'm going to ask these podcasters before we fuck.
God, I really wish they'd get to my question. Tired of nutting in my hand. So my stepmom had, I think, like 14 siblings.
Really? Jesus Christ.
That would suck ass.
Would be terrible.
Like that, being the oldest would be fine because you get all the new shit. Everybody else just got hand-me-downs from hand-me-downs, and
So I've got two kids, and sometimes I have trouble remembering their name. So it's like, I can't imagine 14 kids.
Entering new location. Difficulty rating. Medium.
dear smelly poopy butt cheek fingers and Anthony. I'm an employee at Burger King, and I'm considering joining our union. The union encompasses a bunch of other workplaces not under our company. It's basically a nationwide workers' union. When I get my accounting degree, I'm planning on continuing to work for Burger King, but as an accountant.
Jesus Christ, that was a crazy sentence.
I'm picturing somebody with one of them visors on, counting French fries.
Jesus, Ben, I said I'm busy.
I was wondering what actually happens inside a union. What are the differences between working wage and salary in a company with a union? I really just want to hear more union talk from the two of you because I find it fascinating. Thanks. Tom the Stripper 8, Kevin Nugget, Jew Curls.
Jew Curls.
That's like a whole episode. That's a
Right? There's so much going on there.
Okay.
Console.
I would like to invite this person on the show. And
Okay.
one, I would imagine that Burger King has probably, let's say 25, maybe 50 people at most worldwide in their accounting department. Right? So maybe not even that many, actually.
50 people worldwide.
Yeah, maybe not even that many. Probably, I bet their accounting department is way smaller than that. I bet there's only like 5 people in their accounting department.
I can see that because at a place like that, don't they make their like store managers do most of the accounting work and they just send the
I
totals
think they're
over
all
and-
franchises.
Yeah.
So I think the store owner is the one that's doing the accounting for his store.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's just one accountant at Burger King Central, and he's just counting money as it comes in from franchise fees.
God, we need to franchise this podcast. So, I didn't even really think about that. I mean, when somebody says I work at Burger King, never once did I think like they're probably an accountant. I just my mind doesn't go there.
I'm wondering if okay, so if there is a Burger King accountant, let's say he's had a hard week, he's at the bar, and he wants to have a drink before he goes home. He's single.
Yeah.
And he sees a woman across the bar and he wants to buy her a drink. They start talking,
Console.
and she says, "So what do you do for a living?" Do you think he just says, "I work in finance"?
Right, that's what I
Or-
was just gonna say. If I work in finance, that's exactly what he says. If you've ever handled money at your job, just say you work in finance. It's easier.
What was the rest of? Oh, the union
He
thing.
just wants to hear more union talk. I don't know.
Something I never thought I'd fucking hear.
Right? I find it weird to me. I know that this doesn't make sense and it only makes sense in my stupid brain, but I find it weird that there is a ton of unions that are like groups of unskilled laborers.
Why?
I don't know. That's why I said it only doesn't make sense to me. Like,
I know your union has at least one of them.
groups. I said groups. So it's like there's like
Entering new location.
trade unions that are like skilled labor unions, like the electrical union, whatever that is. Like that's a skilled trade union. You don't just get in off the street, right? But then there's like unions where
Styles constructed.
if you work here, you join the union. Like there's not really any skill involved in like the action. I don't know how to explain it. Like I don't know. I always just assumed before I started in a union, like if you were in a union, it was a skilled trade union. You know what I mean? Like a group of skilled trades. But it's not like that at all.
Well, they're both fall under the umbrella of union, but
Right.
one of them has a lot more horsepower behind it than the other.
Right.
You know, you have a whatever the fucking McDonald's union is, or whatever the fuck this guy was talking about.
Yeah.
I can't believe that any franchise owners would allow that.
A union?
Yeah.
Do they not have a say, or I mean,
Yeah, can't they just close their store? move it like 5 feet or whatever and open it
I
back
think
up?
that's against the law. Did we discovered that the other day, didn't we?
I don't remember.
Remember Starbucks had to reopen their stores because they closed them because they unionized or whatever. So the government said, no, you can't close.
Right, but okay, one, if I was a franchise owner, I would be the best franchise owner. Nobody would want a union because it would drive their wages down because I'd be paying them so much.
The union's going to drive your wages down. How can you even say that?
I don't know. I'm just talking. Like, we're almost
okay,
out of
cool.
time, and
Just one foot in front of the other. We'll get there eventually.
it's I don't want. I'm trying to stop myself because I don't want to talk about unions anymore. Like,
Activating poison gas.
they're stupid. There once was a time and a place for unions that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
The government cares about your safety now. Your company cares about your safety now.
Right.
Your company doesn't want to take advantage of you like they used to.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Did I say that right?
I think so. I think you got it. I don't know. It's we've said a lot of shit about unions. I mean, obviously, we both worked at fucking union shops. We know both sides of it. It's my experience. You have to work a lot harder at a non-union shop. You have to know a lot more stuff. That's just my experience. At a non-union
For
shop,
sure.
I had to know a lot more stuff and do a lot more things, and like I was like in charge of a lot more stuff. Like when you go to a union shop, it's like, oh no, somebody else does that. Oh no, don't do that. Somebody else does that.
And that's the problem with unions.
Yeah.
They generate overtime, they generate higher costs, they generate
Yes.
higher prices.
Yes.
Then companies move their fucking manufacturing outside of the country.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
But they have pizza parties and a safety committee, so that's pretty cool.
But what's the alternative? Pay people less in America?
No, you don't. Yes.
I mean, that is the alternative.
But it's not just about. I think that you could pay people more by getting rid of the unions, because if you think, okay, let's say that there's a union out there that has a hotel where they hold union events and a golf course and a swimming pool.
It's not just a hotel. Let's not call it a hotel.
It's a resort.
Fucking resort.
Okay, so let's say that there's a union that has a resort. Okay, and it's not even in the grand scheme of things. It's not even a big union.
Right.
Where did that money come from?
Extortion.
No, it's just like taxes,
It came from the union dues. Right. It's the only
Right.
way they make their money. They don't
which
sell
came from
anything.
which came from the company.
Right.
Right, that money didn't go to the employees; it went to the union.
Right.
So I'm suggesting that all things being equal, you could make more without the union
Yeah.
than you do with the union.
So let's say there's another union, and this other union says this election is very, very important. We're going to take one of our members, take him out of production, out of the job shop, and put him either walking or phone banking or calling people to get them to vote for the Democrat that we want to win. And we're going to pay him, the union is going to pay him his wages for the last month of the election. For a full month, we're going to pay somebody to knock on doors for the candidate that we want to win. I'm sorry, but that just drives me crazy. I needed to shoehorn that in because it pisses me off.
Right, and what people don't think about is to this guy's question. Okay, and that is a true thing that happens
Yes.
in unions. Is they
Yes.
take somebody out of production. They tell the company this employee is no longer available. He's going to be on union business.
Yep.
So you need to backfill him somewhere.
Yep.
And then they take whatever wages he would have made, they cover his benefits, all of that, which comes from other union dues, regardless of your political belief.
Yes.
So now, if you are a hardcore Republican, part of your wages is going to pay somebody to go door to door, and it's probably a fucking dumbass fucking welder that's doing it. He don't even know what he's supposed to be asking. He just knocks on the door and says, "We'll strike if we have to."
And they're like, what are you selling? What? What? I said we'll strike if we have to.
I don't want to say his name. Jeff. I'll say his name's Jeff. Okay. Hopefully you'll know who I'm talking about. But he was one of those we'll strike if we have to union shirt wearers. When he got his I think he was just a union steward.
Yeah.
And I was picturing him going door to door, So obviously this guy's not here to sell toothpaste. So we know that.
Right. Hopefully he won't strike if he has to. Jesus.
I'm going to check this real quick. I normally don't do this, but I just got a message from Tom.
Oh boy. Do you need me to change anything?
The one fucking time I tune in to Dear Flabby Live.
Oh, that's
Bye, Tom.
hilarious.
Keep it up.
Hello, Tom.
Phoenix Heat 420 real with $2. Thank you very much. Piggas look pug-faced. Right.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
All right, man. You ready to get out of here and go record our bonus?
Yeah.
Patreon.com/who's right. Every week, bonus episode. Come over and listen.
Yes. Send in
Bye.
questions if you need your Dear Flabby questions answered. Bye.
Poison gas detected.
Welcome to the Who's Right podcast. Come for the slap fighters, stay for the Nazi scientists, the furries, and of course, the dirt burners. Tim the Tom Man here to recap some exciting stories from last week's Who's Right podcast broadcasts, but I'd like to shout out Arizona Bay Candy first. God damn, Arizona Bay Candy. That's some serious gourmet shit. Now let's get back to the program at hand. What happened on the bonus episode last week? Anthony wants to get into some self-defense classes. But instead of doing exciting classes like boxing, kickboxing, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he'd rather be a little gay boy and do Taekwondo. Ben Wolfdog Ellis joined the show and confirmed Taekwondo is kinda gay. Wolfdog also lost a number of his belongings to Hurricane Helene. If you have the means, please consider supporting him by donating to his PayPal. Ben 17 Ellis. Bonus episode out of the way, let's look at the mainline episode, where Doug turned over a new leaf and became Nice Doug. And what does Nice Doug like? Rape teams. That's right, the Kansas City Rapers are coming to a town near you. Richard Nixon was incredibly based. Anthony thinks blunt force trauma is what happens when a black guy beats you with his marijuana cigarettes. And Kevin Curley gave us this week's episode title. Unfortunately, I have nothing to give you, but you should give it up for the Who's Right podcast.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
That was great.
Oh, fuck. Okay. So, what don't we want to talk about? We don't want to talk about the election or politics.
Nope.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
So, are you putting an edict on it?
No, there's no edict on anything. If the conversation goes that way and we can keep it, if the conversation goes that way, then it goes that way. No edict.
Electrical hazard activated.
Damn it. I wanted you to put an edict on it.
Entering
No,
room.
I don't even know what.
Difficulty rating easy. Hostile
But I'll put it on it if you want.
Put it right on its forehead.
This is like whipped cream.
constructed.
Okay, so election politics off the table.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yes.
Okay, trans off the table.
Politics off the table. Got it. Come on, guy. You got to give me something. Come on.
All right, so guess the race then.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah, I don't have any. I just got done with a job interview, like right before this.
Yeah. You want to talk
And-
about that?
You know, I shouldn't. I just realized I probably should, but
You know I shouldn't. probably a good idea not to. All right,
But
let's go.
yeah, what the fuck ever? What do I fucking care? You said the N word. I can talk about a goddamn fucking job interview.
Perfect.
I fucking hate doing job interviews. I fucking hate it. Like, I know how to do my job,
Right.
but then people that don't know how to do my job are asking me, I hope they're not watching this, are asking me questions about how to do my job. And then I've got to answer in a way that I think they can understand. It's just fucking stupid. I just wish I made hammers. My life would be so much fucking easier if I just made hammers.
I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. I bet you could make a killer hammer. So
Medium.
I don't understand job interviews, because the last job interview I had, it was like, what have you done to make the world safer for other hammer
They
makers?
held up a screwdriver and a hammer and said, which one of these is a hammer? Oh, that one.
Do you need me to weld something together?
Sorry, I interrupted you. The last job interview you were in,
No, I was just saying the way they do their interviews is like, they call it something stars or
Star
HBO
interview, yeah.
Max or something like that. It's like, when's the last
I'll
time
be
you
more than
were-
happy to train you right now. We have nothing, so I can train you. I went through 2 weeks of training on how to conduct a star interview.
But what is that? What do those interviews tell you? Do they, they tell you how to conduct them, but do they tell you like why they do them? Like,
Yes.
why?
I'm glad you asked. So first you need to understand what STAR stands for. Situation, task, action, result.
Okay.
Station online.
Okay, first off, nobody in your position should ever go through a STAR interview.
I did though.
But right, that's because whoever gave it to you is just following protocol and
Right.
doesn't know how to interview fucking hammer makers.
Right? Yeah, that's kind of my point. There was not one question about hammers. It was like literally like, so you did this job before at this place. How did you make that place safer for your teammates or what? Like, it was all safety. Like, what do you think about working in a team? What do you think about working in a team where people around you make more money than you? Like, what fucking kind of questions are these?
So let's say that I'm interviewing for a new co-host.
Okay.
Okay. To use the STAR technique, what it would be something like, tell me about a time that you were in an argument with somebody and they threatened to fuck your wife. How did you react? So what I would expect to hear back from that person is the situation. So
Difficulty rating.
what started it, the task, what was it that you were asked to do,
Sure.
the action, what you actually did, and then the result, what is the outcome of those three things.
Okay.
So when you're scoring somebody during a STAR interview, you're supposed to be keeping track of, okay, so they covered the situation, they covered the task, they covered the action, and then most importantly, they gave me the result.
Okay.
So
How does that
when
help
you're-
you?
it's like situational interviewing. It to try to understand, one, what type of experience you have, two, how you react to certain situations, and then you can take that information and get a better understanding of how they will react to a similar type situation in the environment. It's not a technical interview like, do you know the difference between a ball peen hammer and a claw hammer? The expectation is that you got this far into the process that
Right.
technically you have the skills needed. Like I said, you don't use a STAR interview for a fucking hammer maker.
Right.
Like, can you, if somebody is held on to the big metal box on the side of the wall and they're shaking violently, what do you do? And typically, like, people like you are like, grab them. Okay, yeah, get out.
Grab them, both hands. Make sure your feet are planted firmly on the floor. Take your boots off if possible.
Stand in the puddle and grab them.
Stand in a puddle and grab them.
So I was in a,
Hostile spawn from high
not the place that I'm at now, but place previous.
hostile.
They were trying to implement STAR interviews for shop floor employees.
Yeah.
And you might as well just be talking to a fucking pet. Like, they don't know. people like you and welders don't know how to respond to questions like that.
Because they're stupid questions.
They're not stupid questions. They're stupid people that can't answer simple questions.
But again, I want to come in and make hammers for your beautiful hammer manufacturing company. Cool. Tell me a time when you were safe at your last job and how you implemented safety safely. I'm like, no, hammers. I want to make hammers, you fucking morons. Why are you asking me how I was safe at my last job that I don't work at anymore? Hammers. Idiots.
Right. Yeah, they're the idiots.
yeah, and because you're hiring me to make hammers and you're asking me like shit that is okay, situationally, how would you handle this situation situationally in this situation? Like what? Well, just
nobody talks like that.
That's exactly how they talk.
That's words that you heard because you can't comprehend thinking like I did have breakfast.
In that situation, I wouldn't be hungry. Wait, I would be. Did I have breakfast? I don't remember. So it doesn't make sense to me to hire somebody to do something at your manufacturing plant. You come in and not one question about do you have the skills to do this job? Or are you a good fit for this job? Nope. It's all like, what would you do? Or tell me a time when, like, dude, I fucked a bologna sandwich. I don't know. Tell me a time when you went yard sailing. Like, well,
it's because you weren't hired into a skilled position. You were hired into a smoking monkey position, and you know that.
Yes. Now I do know that. I'm not trying to make it anything it's not.
No, so you were hired. I'm not talking about your current hammer making job. I'm talking about the job before that.
Yeah.
You were hired as a smoking monkey.
Yes.
Okay. So they assume that you can be trained to push this button when the light's not on it. And if you hear a bad noise that sounds like a car crash, you can hit the big red button. Other than that, just make sure you can read basic work instructions.
Yeah.
It's not a technical job.
Right.
So there's no reason. So there's no reason to ask those questions. What is important is to see how you will react in certain situations.
But I'm telling you, 90% of the interview was, tell me a time when you were safe or you implemented some safety procedure and something about being safe at your last job. And what that does is it forces people to make shit up.
Right.
And that's retarded. Why would you want to have an interview where you're forcing people to make shit up?
I started by saying they didn't do it correctly.
Oh, I missed that part. I was ranting and I missed that part.
Yeah, you do. It's because you don't listen. And I'm sure they only asked you one safety question, and it just so happens that's the one you remember.
No, I'm sure it was like one safety question, and in my mind, the whole interview was 3 hours of safety talk.
Difficulty rating.
I think that's what I just said.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you because it caught me off guard because implemented something safely. No, I made hammers, but I didn't smash my finger.
Okay, so safety Nick, right? We've talked about him in the past.
Sure.
How is he going to interview you to make sure that you can make hammers?
God, he couldn't.
Right, but he's tasked with it.
Right. Yeah, which is,
Disrupted.
but so what you're telling me is the problem goes all the way up the chain, and we just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Oh, just say that then. This is a corporate wide, and not just where I'm at corporate. Every corporate wide. Every place does it exactly the same.
No, not true. I'm sure every place does it exactly the same for non-skilled smoking monkey hammer makers. Yes, because they're forced to work within the confines of the bureaucratic bullshit,
right?
And say, okay, here's our interview process, so that this applies to everybody. The questions are different. You know, like I'm sure you got asked a question like, okay, how do you know when you're done wiping? No more poop.
No
good enough.
More brown. How do you know? That would be an awesome interview question. How do you know when you're done wiping? Is it okay? So is there like a written? I'm sure it's written. I guess that's a stupid question, but I'm sure it's against the law to ask certain questions. Do they tell you what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say, or is it just like a general like this general idea is off limits? Like you can't ask fat chicks if they're pregnant.
So maybe it's just because of maybe I was poorly trained.
Yeah.
But I have never heard of questions that are illegal to ask in an interview. But maybe it's just common knowledge that, okay, it's common knowledge that you don't ask a fat chick when she's due. Like you just don't do that.
Right. Especially not in an interview. No, I thought it was like against the law.
So you put out, huh?
Right. Yeah. See, there's ways to ask it, tactfully. So I thought it was against the law to ask a woman if she's pregnant or if she plans to get pregnant because you can't discriminate. You know what I mean?
If somebody comes in and, like pregnant people all do that same walk, like that waddle.
Yep.
And then when they sit down, like they bend over backward,
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Like you would be an idiot to not say something like, so when are you due? I mean, it's like, it's obvious if they're pregnant.
Sheesh.
Like
Yeah. But if
Okay.
it's obvious that somebody's pregnant, you have to ask them when they're due?
No, I'm saying that it's not illegal as you suggested.
Okay, gotcha.
But asking somebody, are you pregnant or do you currently plan to get pregnant? Yeah, that's probably frowned upon. I'm going to look it up. I'm curious now.
There's got to be some kind of like discrimination type questions. So you always been black? I mean, there's got to be questions where it's like, obviously you're discriminating. So if you don't hire them, they can sue you because you asked them this question or something like that.
How old are you? When did you graduate from college? Where are you from? What is your ethnicity? Are you planning to have children? Do you identify as LGBTQ? What religion do you practice? Do you observe any religious holidays? Are you married? Do you have children?
Those are
Do you have any
questions you can't
disabilities?
ask?
That's what it says.
Wait, so you can't ask them when they graduated college?
Well, no, because that'll tell you their age.
So you're not allowed to know somebody's age when you're interviewing them?
No, because that's age. That could lead to age discrimination.
But, oh my God, this is the same conversation we always have. I should be allowed to discriminate against your age if I'm hiring you.
No, you shouldn't. It depends. What age?
I'm paying you. I'm paying you my money to do a job for me. Why shouldn't I
Right.
be able to discriminate against whatever I want?
Because if I can do the job, you shouldn't tell me that I can't do the job because you think that I'm too old.
Yes, I should.
No, you shouldn't.
It should be up to my discretion. I'm paying you.
Then don't hire me. Just don't ask me about my age. You can look at me and tell me how fucking old I am.
Initiated.
Okay, do you remember that fucking weld engineer?
Which one?
The really fucking old one that took forever to walk anywhere?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay. When he came in for an interview, do you think anybody was like, we could probably get an idea of his age if we ask him when he graduated college?
Did they have college when you graduated college?
Right. No, you understand what I'm saying. You could tell by looking at him that he was well past his prime.
Right. Old. Yeah. I understand. I'm just, it's weird to me that it's accepted. Like, okay, we know you're going to pay these people. We know you need them to do a job, but there's guidelines on what you're allowed to know about them before you agree to pay them. And then once
Yeah,
you agree
because
to
it's
pay
not
them,
relevant.
you can't fire them.
It's not relevant.
It doesn't matter if it's relevant.
It does. It does matter.
It's irrelevant if it's relevant. If I'm paying the money, they're doing the job for me, I get to decide what's relevant.
All right, let's say that. So I brought Adam to the table and said, I think we should hire this guy, right?
Yes.
And you said, yeah, you know what? I think we should.
Yeah.
And then we sat down and we had a face-to-face with him.
Yeah.
You think that you should be able to legally say, oh, well, yeah, I know that you've got all the qualifications, but you didn't tell me you were Mexican. I'm not hiring you. I don't hire Mexicans.
Console
Yes.
available.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't argue with you if you think if that's really what you think.
If I'm paying someone to do a job, all of the discretion should be on my end, whether I hire them or not.
If your boss comes to you and says, "Look, we've got to let you go. It's come to our attention that you're white,"
Yeah.
you're just going to go, "Yeah, I understand."
No. Why would I say I understand? Because I don't understand. I'm white. It doesn't make any sense. What you're
Listen
saying
to what you're
doesn't make any
saying.
sense. My boss is Mexican though, so maybe I guess.
No, you say, so you'd say, you know what? I understand. It makes sense. You guys pay the employees, and
Yes.
you don't want to pay me because I'm white. I get it.
Yes.
You're so full of shit. Don't.
Okay. Not if it
I
affects me.
promise you, if you were to get fired for being white, and that's what it said on your little fucking pink slip,
Yeah.
you would leave work and go right to a lawyer's office.
Yeah, I don't ever want to work again. That's discrimination. Okay, but I'm right though. I'm right. You should be able to discriminate. I think discrimination should be okay.
No, I think you should be able to discriminate, but you have to do it discreetly. Discreet
Why?
discrimination.
Why? So why should you have to lie to somebody? You're being forced to lie.
No, you're being forced to be creative.
I don't want to be creative. I like cookie cutter. I like cookie cutter racism. I don't like creative racism. Oh my god.
Okay.
It just seems like there's a incompatibility between like being able to associate with who you want and civil rights. There's an incompatibility there.
It's the same as, do you think that if you own an apartment, let's say you own an apartment building, you think you should be able to turn down potential renters strictly because of their sexuality?
Of course.
Why? What? I don't want no butt fucking in these bedrooms. I just painted them.
I just painted it here. This is new carpet.
I don't want you guys getting your butt fucking juices all over the carpet padding.
Of course, okay. I think that doing that is wrong, right? I understand. You shouldn't
Oh, I
discriminate.
forgot who I was talking to. Yeah,
Well, what?
you think it's wrong, but you think it should be legal.
Yes, of course.
No,
Yes.
it's not. Of course, every conversation is flowing into the same conversation that we had the last time we recorded. Every time.
Every time.
If you think it's wrong, by default, you have to think that the government should get involved and ban everybody from doing it.
Fair enough. That's how morals work. Fair enough. But like you said, I just replaced the carpet. I don't want butt fucking juice on the carpet. Can I just ban that? Can I no butt juice on the carpet or on the walls? Putting that in your contract or whatever that you sign, your lease.
All right. Well, I guess speaking of butt fucking, I got a story.
All right.
I'm going to try to read this whole story.
All right.
Don't know why.
Okay.
There's no punchline at the end. I just thought it was interesting.
Oh, okay.
Snapchat beast bound and raped girl, 15, stabbing her 86 times after being invited to the home.
All right.
Oh, you know what? Here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Father shoots baby with can of mace. Are they black or some other race?
Okay. Now, I've already given you a clue.
Right. So if I had to guess right now, I'm guessing white.
Yep.
Zero chance that any news outlet is going to call a black person a beast.
Right.
Not
So
happening.
I knew as soon as I read this headline,
Yeah.
that there'd be a picture of a white guy on there because they called him a beast.
Right.
Like they didn't say Snapchat scholar bound and raped girl 15.
Right.
All right. A Snapchat predator was sentenced to life in prison. So I want you to keep notes and feel free to Okay, I just had a new idea for a new bit.
Okay, good.
When I say feel free to keep notes, normal conversation would be that you would write that down in the notebook and refer to it later.
Sure.
What I want you to do is just say your notes out loud. I want you to key in on what you think is important.
Okay.
And then just say it out loud so that I can kind of recognize where your head's going.
Okay.
A Snapchat predator was sentenced to life in prison.
Life in prison. Okay.
Thank you. After he sexually assaulted a teenage girl before stabbing her a total of 86 times.
Okay. 86 stab wounds, sexual assault. Okay. Got it.
Life in prison.
Yep.
Okay. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm assuming he killed her. He had sex with her and then killed her. Or had sex with her, then killed her, right?
And then life in prison.
Yeah.
That's going to be important later. The life in prison part is going to be important later.
Okay.
The girl, 15, crossed paths with Zachary, 22, on Snapchat, and the two began conversing normally. Iona, that's the guy, was eventually given permission to visit the teen at her home in Georgia, which tells me that her parents were there.
Yeah. Permission mean like 15-year-olds can't give permission. That's against the law. So her parents had to be there.
There was probably a slip signed of some sort.
Yes, a permission slip.
He arrived with a full kill kit, several rolls of duct tape, rope, and a knife. He tied her up, sealed her mouth with duct tape, and proceeded to rape her.
So were her parents there?
The sick act became more violent as he began stabbing the teen in her face, torso, neck, legs, and arms as he continued to sexually assault her. Once his bloodlust was satisfied, he fled the scene.
Huh. I would never think to stab somebody in the legs. That's weird.
That's your takeaway?
It just seems weird, right? Like when you're stabbing somebody, you want to stab them in the meaty parts. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to stab them in the legs. That's
Okay. I assume by stab wounds like 71, 72,
yeah.
like you're gonna have to move down the body. You're gonna get towards at least the thighs, if not the knees and calves.
Right.
It's fucking like if he would have kept going, he would have had to start stabbing the pinky toe and shit. The violated and bludgeoned teen girl managed to crawl to the nearest phone and dial for help.
Good.
Is it?
Think so.
She was soon transported to the hospital where doctors found at least 86 stab wounds on her body. Police identified the suspect through a photo on the victim's Snapchat account, which led to his car where duct tape, rope, and blood were found.
Do you? Okay. When you're going to med school, you're making your way through or whatever. Does anybody tell you someday you're going to have to count stab wounds on a 15-year-old girl? Make sure we get this part right. How do they practice that? How do they practice counting stab wounds on a 15-year-old girl? There's no matter where you're stabbed, they all run together, right? 87 times.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
It's not that much of a thinker.
It is. And I'm done. Okay. So he pled guilty to the following charges. Again, this is going to be important. I want you to take notes.
Okay.
Rape.
Got it.
You know what? I'm going to read the charges,
Yeah.
and I want you to put a sentence on each one. What do you think he should get?
Oh, okay. Rape. 10 to 15 years.
Aggravated assault,
5 to 10.
aggravated battery,
I don't know what the difference is between that, so we'll go 5 to 10.
statutory rape.
20 years.
So 15 to forcefully rape somebody, but 20 years to forcefully rape somebody.
Underage.
I think it should be vice versa, or at least the same.
You get less time if they're underage?
No, you're probably right.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, what if you're 18 and they're 17? Like,
Back to that again. Was the kid 16? It's important for the story.
Okay, so don't you think that if a grown man rapes a 15-year-old, shouldn't that just be life?
I mean, yeah, I think, I would be okay with that. No life with no parole.
Okay.
Yeah.
If a grown man rapes an 18-year-old, do you think you still on 10 to 15?
God, she's got her whole life ahead of her, man. You really fucked that shit up. I don't know, 20 years. I don't know what they give for rape. 20, 25? I guess I don't know what the normal sentence is. I was just guessing.
No, I wasn't. I don't want you to guess. I want you to tell me what you would sentence them to.
If I'm being serious, in a sane world, rape charges should probably get you a life sentence. Any rape charges.
So then now you're back to saying whether they're of age or underage, it's just life.
Yeah, but I think if they're underage, the death penalty should be on the table. Right? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know.
If you're going to rape somebody, regardless of if they're 17 or 18, why wouldn't you just go with death?
I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. It's like I want the deterrent, like, hey, don't rape people, but I also don't want them ever out again.
Okay.
Anyway, I really don't know. It's hard to come up with an actual number.
So statutory rape,
Life,
child molestation,
life,
possession of a knife.
10 to 15. No, we'll tack on 6 months for that. Possession of a knife.
Can you see? That's the one that struck me as odd. I can understand why they threw all the other ones at him. That's
Right.
fine.
Right.
But the possession of a knife, that's like time served or like
Right. It's
community
like-
service.
That's like a bargaining chip. Like, hey, we'll throw this one out if you confess.
Those counts culminated in a life sentence. He will spend 30 years in prison and then undergo 5 years of parole and compulsory sex offender registration.
Wait a minute. Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Life sentence, 30 years, and then 5 years parole.
Yeah. So the life sentence, he's going to serve 30 years.
Right. How old is he? Does it say?
24?
Yeah, that's not even anywhere near a life sentence.
Right. Yeah, that's why I wanted to read it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you call it a life sentence and then say he's going to get out in 30 years? 15 if he does good time.
If he cleans his plate every night, he can get out early.
Like, don't you think that if you stab somebody,
Yes.
let's say more than twice, there's got to be a number to where, okay, yeah, I get it. You're Mexican stab people. I get it. It's fine. Do 5 years.
Yeah.
But 87 or whatever, like there's a certain threshold. There's a number that once you stab somebody more than X number, just they should be disposed of. They can't be rehabilitated. They're of no use to society.
So you're thinking because it's so brutal, or just because? Well, okay. If I stab somebody 10 times, or if I shoot him in the face, is that the same thing?
No.
So you can shoot somebody in the face and not go to jail for life,
Immediate medical
It
assistance.
depends on the circumstances.
but you can't stab them more than 3 times, no matter what the circumstances.
I didn't say 3. I said X.
Okay. But in
X,
my mind,
X is lower than 87. I know that. I don't know what the number is.
in my mind, it's the brutality part of it. Like if you shoot somebody in the face, that's brutal, right? Or if you shoot somebody in the nuts, that would be terrible. Shove a gun up somebody's asshole. You shouldn't be able to get out.
So if you shoot somebody in the nuts, you think you should be charged, do more time than shooting them in the chest?
Yeah, it's more humane to shoot somebody in the chest, I think.
If somebody's breaking into your house and you fire a shot and hit him in the nuts, you're telling me that, or let's say that you think somebody's breaking in the house. Let's say it's a Girl Scout and you think she's breaking in and you shoot through the door and hit her in the nuts.
We got bigger problems.
Sniper.
So you're mixing up things here. So if I'm defending myself or my house,
No, me?
what? If I'm defending my house, I should be able to shoot anybody anywhere I want.
No, I just said somebody was knocking at the door and you thought they were breaking in. That's why you shot the Girl Scout in the nuts.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't knock on my door. So I think if you do something intentionally to like,
Yeah, and who's to decide what was intentional in the heat of the moment?
okay, how long does it take to stab somebody 87 times? That's heat of the moment.
No, it's not.
You're still stabbing 45 minutes later.
You know how tired you have to be to get to 87 stabs?
So you got to be slashing. You can't just be stab. It's got to be like a slashing movement, right? Is it worse to stab somebody or slash somebody?
Oh, stab.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why? I would think
Because
slash.
No, slash could be a defensive maneuver. Like if this little 15-year-old girl was attacking him,
Yeah.
and he's just flailing the knife around, scared.
I was trying to tie her up and she attacked me. Self-defense.
A stabbing motion is more, not direct. There's a word that I can't. Intentional. Stabbing is more intentional to cause death than slashing. Therefore, it is higher on the brutality scale.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but it seems like if I'm trying to kill somebody like by cutting their throat so they bleed out, like a well-placed stab would be a lot harder than just slashing wildly. I could get their throat. You know what I mean? I don't know. I haven't really thought that through. It just
Slashing somebody's neck is almost played out at this point. You don't hear a lot about people stabbing people in the neck.
right. I mean, is there a reason for that? Like, I'm not going to do that. It's played out. I don't want the other killers to laugh at me.
At some point, this guy just needs to be put to death. If you stab somebody 87 times and you don't finish them, there's a fucking issue. There's a bigger issue.
Right. I'm wondering if they were like superficial stab wounds.
I bet they were. I don't know what
almost
that
had to be.
means.
He had like a tiny little pocket knife. They didn't say anything about the size of the knife.
It's a fucking toothpick from a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, he was stabbing him with that plastic toothpick and then tweezing him with the tweezers. Life in prison. But where were the parents? They signed the permission slip. The guy comes over and the parents are just gone.
Yeah, they're never mentioned again.
Ugh. I blame them.
All right. So Lindsay sent something over.
All right.
Interested to get your take on this. I know what mine is.
All right.
Matthew Latour, a 24-year-old student from France, tragically ended his life after an unsuccessful beard transplant. We haven't even got to the fucking funny part yet.
A fucking beard transplant. All right.
He had undergone the procedure in Turkey, drawn by the lower cost compared to similar options in France, only to discover afterward that the person performing the operation was a real estate agent, not a licensed surgeon.
Perfect. This is awesome.